Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you that I can join you here today. Our Innogy Innovation Hub is very special. We have now 150 crazy innovators to look for new business models, and we aim to radically innovate energy and try to unlock a smart, responsible, and people-powered future. So it's all about customers, of course. Our world is full of opportunities, and I would like to present a small image video. I hope this works now. So maybe I have to click on a just 1 second.
1 second.
This is this PDF. Oh, that's the wrong. Start the PowerPoint, please. And then it works. Do we have some tone? Yeah. Yeah. We look for sound. Yeah, you see, the digital world needs real hardware. So let's try it again. No? It's no sound. Okay, let's do it without any sound. Yeah, we can. Of course, we can do it at the end. No problem. Okay. Yeah, who is Innogy? Innogy has 23 million customers now, and we are a trusted partner for in Germany we say Energiewende, the energy turnaround, and showcases. We are the world leading in utility R&D. Yes, and we have a big network and distribution in electricity and gas, you know. So in Europe we have more than 500,000 kilometers of distribution grid. And this is very important for connecting the renewables which come more and more towards us. So in Essen we have a very nice R&D project with the world's largest superconductor cable. So we just cut it off 2 transformer stations, and we put a superconductor cable in between, and that is the first very energy efficient energy transportation cable in the world. And we started with smart home solutions 5 years ago with RWE Smart Home. Last year we started with the first flat rate electricity as a pilot with first 500 customers. We started to test it, and we will see that more and more electricity flats will come soon. We started with battery applications. We are one of the largest e-mobility charging infrastructure provider. And that's Innogy today. But what about the future? So if we look into the future, we may look a little bit back. So you know all of these brands well, but they are not really there today. So starting from 1955, about 90% of the top 500 companies are not there. So they lost the game. And the big question is where we would like to be in the future. So, and if we see it from another perspective, like Uber has, is one of the largest taxi company, but they have no taxi. And for example, Alibaba, a big retailer, maybe the most valuable. Amazon is close by, but they have no inventory. And Airbnb, largest accommodation provider, they have no own hotel. But if you look a little bit deeper into that, is it possible to have exponential growth based on nothing, based on data, based on digital things? Is that really the truth? Or should we have to say there has something to be? Because even if you do not own taxis, Uber needs taxis, you know. So there is some backbone where the Googles, the Facebooks, and the other companies earn money on the backs of others, of course. Is that fair or is that not fair? That may be another question, but business models are still possible. So the question is if we can think about digital exponential growth on the backs of hardware. I would say yes, hardware or something real, physical thing is necessary. And what are the ways to kill OPEX and CAPEX? Because we know that everything what could be digitized will be digitized in the future. Only the question is when. Now let's have a short look into the future. Here you can see some estimated tipping points. These follow two studies. One is a study I started on my own in 2012 when I joined RWE. Together with Future Matters, Lars Thompson, it's a well-known futurist. We started expert interviews. We interviewed 500 worldwide leaders like Elon Musk, Susanne Klatten in Munich, good friend, good personal friend, or the CTO from Panasonic in Japan, because I developed together with them a lithium battery in my history. So we interviewed 500 worldwide experts and asked them, what would you expect when? They presented us their roadmaps, and we did a cross-mapping of all of these roadmaps and calculated what could be the tipping point of what. And in addition to that, you can see here tipping points from the last World Economic Forum survey. It's a survey from September of last year, but it's still valid. They interviewed more than 800 experts and came to very similar conclusions. So to cherry pick maybe one very special, let's start with next year. So in 10 weeks, we have 2017. And you know how short a week is. We have Friday today. So how short is 1 week? And in 10 weeks, we have next year. So next year, we will have the tipping point of electricity flat rates. Maybe in Poland, it's a little bit different. I know that the electricity prices here are less than, let's say, 10 cents per kilowatt hour, it's about 8 or something like that. But prices will increase definitely, according to grid fees and whatever will come up. In Germany, you know, because of the energy turnaround or Energiewende, we have much higher prices, and we see it later. But the first flat rates are still there. And there's even one competitor since mid of September, 22nd of September, who offers a zero electricity flat. Electricity for zero. So the name is Sonnen GmbH. They offer the Sonnen community offer. Only customers who have already a battery storage at home, that's the limit, that's necessary then, receive energy for free. Zero for electricity. So that's already there. So let's pick up that and let's ask ourselves the question, why not making our energy or your energy yourself? So tipping point, again, back to tipping point. You remember the tipping point of the smartphones? When the first iPhone came in 2007, that was definitely a tipping point. There was no stop, and worldwide success of distributing and using of smartphones, that's clear. So to look back, it's very easy. To look into the future, it's not so easy, but it is possible to calculate it about. To give you one example, we asked all experts worldwide who are in robotics developing. So all companies and universities we interviewed, all, worldwide. And if you get answers from all and put them together, then it's very accurate to estimate when will come what. So that is a way you can step in a little bit more accurate, a little bit better. So back to the question, energy, to make energy at home. So the electricity prices in Germany here as an example is per kilowatt hour about 25 cents. And if you look here, the grid fee is about 6 cents, and the sales margin for the retailer like Innogy is very small, it's not so big, it's only 3.5 cents. And then we have renewables fee about 6 cents. We have the VAT, electricity tax, concession fee, other fees like metering fees and whatever it is. So at the end, it's about 25 cents. So the German Minister of Finance loves energy customers because he is a winner, not the electricity companies, of course not. But now, if you see the best offers based on German offers for storage at home. That is a Tesla Powerwall in the moment. It's the cheapest one. You can store your energy at home for less than 10 cents. It's 9.78 cents. And the photovoltaics own production is even less than 9 cents. So what we can see here, the total price is less than 19 cents. So we even undercut here the price of electricity from the electricity retailer. So why buy electricity from Innogy if you can produce it at home? That's really a brilliant question. Some of my colleagues are not happy. But in the Innovation Hub, we are on the way to disrupt even ourselves. But now let's see the very special point of storage of energy. Let us do a short experiment together. On the left side, you can see the Innogy offer of an home storage. It's the Innogy Storage Flex. It's about 4 kilowatt hours, and you have to pay as an end customer about 8,400 €. But see on the right side, there is an USB power bank. And you can click on that link. Later you will receive the presentation, of course. And then you can see it's four of them have the storage capacity of 1 kilowatt hour. And 4 of them have a price less than 60 €. So on the left side, the electronics have a warranty of 2 years. On the right side, the electronics has a warranty of 3 years. On the left side, there's lithium in. On the right side, there's lithium in. Same kind of technology. I know we are talking about digital things, but what does that mean? So let's create a huge storage so that you have at home, let's say, for more than 10 days, freedom without any sun shining. And on the left side here, you can see we need 26.6 units to cover the 100 kilowatt hours. I forgot to say that then you have to pay more than 200,000 euro. But on the right side, you have only to buy 400 of these USB power banks. Then you cover the 100 kilowatt hours and you have to pay less than 6,000 euro. So 100 kilowatt hours for less than 6,000 euro. Let's think about electric vehicles. What about Tesla? Tesla has an 85 kilowatt hour battery in, and I know from Elon Musk that his purchase price is, what would you estimate for 85 kilowatt hours? He has to pay $30 per kilowatt hour. $30, not more. And if you, as an end customer, would like to have a battery for a new battery for a Tesla, you have to pay about $12,000 for 85 kilowatt hours. That means it is about $140 per kilowatt hour. But that's the end customer price. It's even higher than the USB power banks. So there is potential. And that means that the price per stored kilowatt hour, if you talk about vehicles or if you talk about storage at home, will fall down extremely fast, extremely fast. So maybe we can step a little bit back to the other tipping points. Which one you would like to talk about? So it's up to you. You can enter into blockchain 2027 or connected, the connected home in 2024. What would you like to see?
Maybe 2022 is 3D technology.
The 3D printing and manufacturing in 2022.
Internet of Things.
And the Internet of and for things. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. The 3D printing first. In 2022, we will have the following. In the medical area, we will have the situation that people who are still in real time in operation can receive new parts for their body in real time from a 3D printer. So today it's different that people are going through an MRT, are, let me say, analyzed, and then there is a potential to create some part of your body in a laboratory, and later medical experts can implement. But in 2022, it is done in real time. Another thing is that companies like automotive companies will have their first complete cars printed of a big 3D printer. And I have been 12 years in the automotive business. I have filed many patents there. For example, I've invented these remote keys in 1992, or the immobilization systems in 1994, and other nice items you have today. In 1999, at BMW, the first cubing car was built like that. All suppliers have to come at one day and to bring with them their 3D printed components, so that they try to merge one of the very first car at one day in one place, but all suppliers worldwide have to come and to bring their parts with them. So in 2022, it's different. All suppliers deliver their 3D models, and the very first car prototype is really printed out completely. Metal parts, plastic parts, electronic parts, everything is printed out and is working. it will be a $1 million car. It's, of course, only a very expensive prototype. But for developers, designers, and decision makers, it's a huge advantage because they can develop cars much faster. The next tipping point was, what was the request? The Internet for Things. You know, all new white good and brown good things today have more or less a Wi-Fi connection. For example, from Bosch Siemens Hausgeräte, all new devices have definitely an internet connection, which are built, let me say, from now on. So it's a decision from Mr. Denner. He decided, so the head or CEO from Bosch, there is no white good we will produce without any internet connection from now on. But that's only the huge stuff. But in 2022, we estimate to have many billion components and pieces. It's about 1 trillion components which have internet access. So from our perspective today, it's almost unbelievable. But it will definitely be that an internet connection then has a cost of less than 30 cents. That means each toaster, even each very small sensor, wherever it is, will have an internet connection. A few weeks ago, I had a meeting with a Belgium startup, Actility. Maybe somebody of you knows it, Actility? You know what they did? They connected Belgium with transmission systems based on long-range radio frequency, LoRa. And what does that mean? That they now have installed only 1,200 transponder stations within Belgium, and they now can cover the full Belgium area with sensors, connection with long-range radio frequency, and each sensor could be battery-driven, has a range of 15 kilometers of communication with 0 cent of communication costs because there's no Vodafone and nobody in. It's free. So that is really disrupting the Internet for Things. So communication costs of 0 in OPEX, and CAPEX is only 30 cents per node. And what is their plan? For example, parking slots. At each parking place, they put a sensor in the floor, and if a car is coming through it, it is sensed there is a car or there's no car. They transfer this to their cloud solution, and everybody can see where is the free parking slot and where not. And it's only a battery-driven sensor, lifetime more than 10 years, under the floor. Less than €5 per piece, the full sensor. So, and then, of course, Google Maps will be updated, and then you can see where is the next free parking slot. So that's only one thing. Another thing is the traffic signs. If somebody has an accident and the traffic sign is a little bit banded, they have an angle sensor in, and they, in real time, transmit which one had an accident. So people can come and replace it. $5 sensor in each sign. They start to do that. And maybe one other tipping point. Yeah, the blockchain thing. That's Bitcoin and the blockchain. That's really a huge thing. Imagine there is Uber without any Uber. Or there is no longer any trust center like a Notenbank. I don't know the translation. If you do really peer-to-peer transaction and nobody is able to control it. In our innovation hub, we have a big blockchain team, and every week we file a patent. Now, even if we know that the tipping point is 2027, what does that mean? That means that the world leaders they expect that 10% of the world's cash flow will be transferred with blockchain technology in 2027. So that, of course, that is still 520 weeks far ahead. But 10% of the world's cash flow, worldwide cash flow, done with blockchain technology, and nobody can control. There's no government, no tax, nothing you can put in between. That's really something we have to think about. The head of the Deutsche Bank explained in January that in this year we will stop with any cash, as Bargeld. So let's see if his vision comes true. It is connected to the blockchain technology, of course. So blockchain means contracts peer-to-peer, transaction peer-to-peer, fulfilling the contract, stopping the contract, thing is done in real time. So everything is done in milliseconds. Yeah, what are the other things we are working on in our Innogy Innovation Hub? We are extremely focused on customer problems, customer needs. We are looking for opportunity spaces. That means what problems are not solved right now, and which problem can be solved for whom, and what could be in for customers, and of course for us to earn money with it. So we are looking for new business models based on deep problems which are unsolved. And we are focusing on in 4 focus topics. We just started the 5th one. One is smart, connected. It has, of course, to do with the Internet for Things. The disruptive digital, we are discussing today much more, I would say. With urban solutions, so reinventing the mega cities, so to say, and their special problems which we have there. And big data is something which is like an horizontal enabling of everything. So it's better decision making based on huge amount of data. And the 5th focus area is now machine economy. So we started this in a very special project team now, and we work on that because we think the machine-to-machine communication is a huge thing. So, thank you very much. If you have any other question, you can ask them now. Image video, if it works now. Just to the stand. Question?
Yes, now?
Yeah.
Just simple question. These blockchain technologies, connections, just this world, will be driven by hardware or software?
Both, of course. You know, it's again on the backs of some hardware, because you need a blockchain node, and a blockchain node is a small part of a small computer. So you can use a Raspberry and reprogram it as a blockchain node. So today you can start it with, let's say, $20 or something like that, 25. In a few years, it's €1 or €2 or dollar. And of course, it's a small supercomputer, if you say it so. Each smartphone could be a blockchain node, but at home you will have many blockchain nodes, of course. Without hardware, it's not possible. Yeah, but it's a distributed, let me say, hardware game. Yeah, but it's more digital based on top of that, of course. So if you have no question, I'm here to discuss later with you what. There's one. Yeah. Yeah, yes, I can hear you. Perfect.
Do you focus on that things in your lab, and what's your take on that one?
You know, let's say we will enter the age of abundancy. That means we will have more energy we need, and there's a strong rule behind it, because the sun is not writing any bill towards us. So energy is for free in the future. That's it. And we will have massive scale energy. We will have too much. We have. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming more and more. It's becoming better and better. So today, if you produce a new photovoltaic module in a best way, based on renewable energy, hopefully, and not from a nuclear plant. Yeah, that's of course necessary then to be sustainable. You need electricity, let me say, sunshine of about 2 years to have the energy back you needed to produce it. And a solar module has a lifetime of 20 up to 25 years, so that is sustainable if you do it in this way.
Maybe last question, coming from Bosch, because I'm representing the company Bosch, yes. Could you comment on driverless car? Why so late?
That's a very good question. The 2026 as a tipping point for driverless cars means that only 10% of vehicles in the United States, and let's speak later about Europe and China, for example, will drive really driverless. So in 2026, 10% of vehicles in the United States. That means 9 of 10 cars are still having drivers on their seat, steering on their own, and have 10% of cars around them driving driverless. So in China, it will be 1 year earlier, in 2025, and in Germany, maybe 1 or 2 years later, 27, 28. It has to do with the regulations and with many ethical questions. You know, what happens if the computer has to decide to kill somebody? On the left side to kill a small child, and on the right side to kill an old lady. The computer has to decide who he has to kill. And the question is really, who is responsible for that? The developer of a car manufacturer? Think about the Volkswagen Abgas discussion, you know. We have. It's only, let me say, a few engineers programming something in that or in this way. So who is responsible for all of that? There are no rules, there's no legal, let me say, backbone, and all of that has to be done before the tipping point really comes true. Yeah, we will have driverless cars, but it needs some time. I was in my first driverless car in 1994. That was a car owned from Susanne Klatten, who is a main shareholder of BMW. I know her well, and she gave me her very first prototype. I drove through Munich, and I really felt, I can tell you, not very safe. So there are still prototypes long time ago, but it needs so long time to make it happen as a tipping point, as a mainstream technology.
Grażyna Łebkowska, Warsaw School of Economics. I would like to ask you, what is the share of the wind energy in your portfolio, and how much you are advanced in storing this energy in view of sustainability? You have to be a reliable provider from multi-sources, of course, but how about the wind energy and its storage? Are you advanced in producing the batteries for wind farms? I know some experiments from the United States that are pretty much promising and already commercialized, but I don't know anything about European progress in this respect. Yeah. Thank you.
So the wind turbines have a big share. It's much bigger than photovoltaic modules today. It's more, and the storage is really a problem. So if you take Germany as an example, not only Innogy, so if you take Germany, we had last year a cut-off of 370 million euro of electricity, which was not used because the grid was overloaded. So that is really bad, to switch off the grid and to switch off renewables because the grid is not managing it. So, and it's every year it's increasing problem. Storage will solve that, storage solutions, but the battery storage solutions are on their way to be realized, and that needs some years. And the other storage areas we have the water pump storage units are not capable enough. We have not enough storage capacity today. But that's under development.
What about relax flow batteries? Are
Yeah.
they an option for home storage?
Yeah.
Energy storage?
They are an option, even if their efficiency is not so good. So redox flow batteries have an overall efficiency up to 75% if you manage them in the best way. Could be down to 50%. That means if you put in 1 kilowatt hour, you get out of it only 750 watt hours or even less. So the efficiency is not great, but if we enter the age of abundancy, if sun and wind are, as a gift, more than we need, then we also could live with those technologies. Yes, and they will play a big role in parallel to lithium-based batteries.